Good morning, students. Welcome to physics class today. Today we are going to start with our next lesson, fifth lesson, which is motion of system of particles and rigid bodies. In this, the first thing we are going to see is about center of mass. So, what is meant by a center of mass is the center of mass of a body is defined as the point where the entire mass of the body appears to be concentrated. Okay, so center of mass is defined as a point where the entire mass of the body appears to be concentrated. And so, if suppose you consider this to be any body, and the center of the body, okay, it is a point where entire mass of the body appears to be concentrated. So all the mass, if it is concentrating at only one point, and that point is called as a center of mass. Okay, this point can represent the entire body, so that point will represent the entire body. Okay, so that is called as a center of mass. So center of mass is defined as the point where the entire mass of the body appears to be concentrated. Clear? Next is the center of mass for distributed point masses. So let us consider a point mass which has a non-zero mass and no size or shape, such that it has a masses m1, m2, etc. up to mn. So we are considering the masses, and that masses are placed on the x-axis such that it has positions to be x1, x2, etc. up to xn from the origin. So these are the masses which are m1, m2, m3, m4, and these distances, they are measured as this to be x1, and this distance is x2, and this is x3, and this to be x4. Okay, and these are placed along the x coordinates. Okay, so considering this, if you write the value of the center of mass for any one particle, that is given by x of cm that represents the center of mass. Okay, so x cm, center of mass, which is equal to summation of mi xi divided by summation I. This is a very important formula which you have to know. Okay, so xm, which is equal to summation mi xi divided by summation mi. Okay, so this gives you a formula for x of m. And suppose instead of this summation mi, here summation mi, I'm going to write it as capital M. Okay, we are going to substitute as capital M, so that we get xcm, which is equal to summation mi xi divided by m. Okay, so this gives a formula for x of cm. Same way, if you are writing for y, we get summation mi xi divided by summation mi. Instead of that, we are writing as m. Same way, z of cm can be written as summation mi zi divided by m. Okay, so these are all the values of the x, y, and z coordinates. Clear? Now the next is, if you are writing for r of cm, same way we can write it as summation mi ri divided by summation mi. Instead of summation m, here it is written as m alone. Okay. Now, how was this r of cm written is, this r of cm is also equal to x of cm into I cap plus y of cm into j cap plus z of cm into k cap. That because r of cm is said to be the position vector. Okay, and so if suppose you are considering along the one coordinate, then we can write it as I alone. Okay, same way for x, y, and z. Okay, next is center of mass of 2 point masses. So we are considering only 2 point masses. Masses are m1, m2. They are placed at the distances of x1 and x2. And suppose when the masses are on the positive x-axis. So here we are going to consider these masses, how they are placed. Based on the position, we are going to find the value of the center of mass. First, let us consider that the masses are on the positive x-axis. So we'll be considering with the x and the y-axis. Is it not? Here, this is said to be the x-axis, and this is said to be the y-axis. This is both are positive. Here, this is a negative x and negative y. So here what we are going to take is when the masses are on the positive x-axis. So in this positive x-axis itself, we are going to consider the two masses. So those two masses are represented as m1 and m2. Okay. From this origin, if you measure this, that is measured as x1, and from this to m2, we are measuring it as x2. Okay. So we can say that the center of mass will also be in the positive x-axis. What is meant by center of mass? It is a center between the two masses. Okay. So here is the center of mass, and we can say that that is also on the positive x-axis. Okay. So clear. So this diagram will be represented in the next one. Since we are considering this particles along the positive x-axis, we are drawing the diagram like this. Okay, this is y-axis and this is x-axis. As I've told you, we are considering the masses m1 and m2. So m1, the distance is x1, and m2, the distance is x2. Okay, so between this both, we have the center of mass, which is c of m, and that distance is being measured as x of cm, because it is the distance for the center of mass. Clear? So if you write the equation for this, okay, what is the general equation which we are writing is x of cm. Okay, so x of cm, which is equal to what? Summation of mi xi divided by summation mi, is it not? So this is the equation which we saw just now. Yes. So summation mi xi divided by summation mi. Okay. Here, what is this summation mi is sum of the masses. So what are the masses we have here? M1 and M2. So instead of this summation mi, we can write this as M1 plus M2. Okay, and summation mi xi. Instead of this, we can write mi xi. So M1 x1 plus M2 x2. Okay, so that will be the equation which you write for this. Okay, so x of cm, which is equal to, we get it as m1 x1 plus m2 x2 divided by m1 plus m2. Clear? Because we are writing for the two masses m1 and m2. Okay, this is for the first condition, when the masses are on the positive x-axis. Second condition is when it is at the origin. Okay, origin coincides with any one of the mass. Okay, so we are going to consider this to be the x-axis and this to be the origin. Okay, so it is said that origin coincides with any one of the mass. Let us consider that mass to be m1. Okay, and the other mass here to be m2. Okay, and from this, if you measure the value of m1, it is 0. x1 is considered to be 0. Why it is 0 is because it coincides with the origin itself. Okay, so we have only the value of x2 alone. Okay, and center we have with a center of mass. Okay, so center of mass, which is represented as cm, and same way this distance is also measured as x of cm. Okay, so when you draw this diagram, okay, for this, we'll get this as, so this is the origin. This origin coincides with the mass m1, and here we have the next mass, which is m2. Okay, and so this m2, the distance is x2. Center, we have the center of mass, and that distance is measured as x of cm. So same equation, but we are going to substitute x1 to be equal to 0. So we get m1 x1 is 0, same way m2 x2 divided by m1 plus m2. So this fully becomes 0. So we get m2 x2 divided by m1 plus m2. Okay, so this is a second condition. Next is we are going to see with the third condition. So what is the third condition is when the origin coincides with the center of mass itself. Okay, so as we have seen already. Okay, so this is the origin and this is a x-axis. Okay, and this side we have the y-axis. Here is the x-axis, and it is said that origin coincides with the center of mass. So origin center of mass இங்க இருக்கு. அப்போ center of mass centerல இருந்துச்சுன்னா இந்த சைடு என்ன இருக்கும்? நம்மளுக்கு ஒரு m1 இருக்கும், and this side we have the m2. புரிஞ்சதா இல்லைங்களா? ஏன்னா நம்ம ஃபர்ஸ்ட் இதுக்கு முன்னாடி வரை என்ன பார்த்தோம்? மாசஸ் எங்க பிளேஸ் பண்ணிருக்கோன்றத பார்த்தோம் இல்லையா? ஃபர்ஸ்ட் கண்டிஷன் mass m1 is on the positive x-axis ன்னு பார்த்தோம். நெக்ஸ்ட் mass m1 coincides with the origin பார்த்துட்டோம். இப்போ என்ன சொல்லிட்டோம்னா சென்டர் ஆஃப் மாஸ் வந்து ஆரிஜினில் இருக்குது. சென்டர் ஆஃப் மாஸ் ஆரிஜினில் இருந்துச்சுன்னா இந்த சைடு m1 இந்த சைடு m2. ஓகே, ஸோ அப்போது இந்த டிஸ்டன்ஸ் தான் என்ன நம்மளுக்கு x1. ஓகே, அப்புறம் இங்கேருந்து இங்கே மெஷர் பண்ணுறது தான் என்ன நம்மளுக்கு x2. As we know already, if we are considering the x and the y axis, so this is the x axis and this is the y axis. X axis la இந்த side எல்லாமே என்னது positive. Okay, இந்த side எல்லாமே என்னது negative. அப்போ இந்த value என்ன இருக்கும் நம்மளுக்கு minus x1 அப்படின்னு இருக்கும். Okay, so this is the only change compared with the before equations which we have seen. Okay, so when the origin coincides with the center of mass, then x1 is equal to minus x1. Okay, so x of cm வந்து 0. சரியா, m1 இங்க இருக்கு நெகட்டிவ் ஆக்சிஸ்ல இருக்கு. அப்போ x1 க்கு பதிலா என்ன ஆகும் நெகட்டிவ் x1, so minus x1 வந்துரும். Okay, so this is the position. Here is m1 and here is m2. Here is the center of mass. So இது பாருங்க minus x1, இது என்னது plus x2. அப்போ நம்மளுக்கு ஈக்குவேஷன் எப்படி வரும் m1 into minus x1 plus m2 into x2 divided by m1 plus m2. Okay, so இப்போ இந்த term வந்து என்ன பண்ணலாம்னா we can just bring it to other side so that it becomes 0. We get m1 x1, m1 minus x1 plus m2 x2. Now multiply this inside. So we get minus m1 x1. And the minus m1 x1 in the side kondirunga. So we get m1 x1 is equal to m2 x2. Next is center of mass for uniform distribution of mass. So whenever the masses are uniformly distributed, we can say that small mass del of m can be treated as a point mass. Okay, so we are also going to consider with a small mass, and that small mass is represented by the del of m. Okay, so we get the equation as always we'll be writing just to be summation mi into xi அப்படின்னு மட்டும்தான் எழுதுவோம். இதில் del mi அப்படின்னு எழுதுறோம். அதே மாதிரி இங்கேயும் del mi. Okay, same way here also del mi divided by this. Okay, since we are considering also with a small mass அப்படின்றதுனால the other things are same. Okay, instead of m alone we are writing as del mi. Okay, this is for the uniformly distributed mass. Okay, இப்போ this can also be written as instead of this x of cm we get the equation to be integration of x dm divided by integration of dm. Okay, then the next equation y of cm is equal to integration of y dm divided by integration of dm. Then z of cm which is equal to integration of z of dm divided by integration of dm. Okay, this is the center of mass for uniformly distributed body. Okay, next is the motion of center of mass. When the rigid body moves, its center of mass also moves. Okay, then the kinematic equation. So whenever the object is moving, so what are the quantities which we take is velocity and acceleration. Okay, so here also we are going to find the values of this velocity and acceleration. Okay, first when you write the formula for velocity, it is written as d divided by dt, because general formula for velocity is what distance divided by time taken. Okay, and so here we are writing as dx divided by dt. Okay, so dx of cm divided by dt. Then what is the general formula for x of cm? So x of cm is given by summation mi xi divided by summation mi, is it not? Here instead of this xi we are going to write this as dx m divided by dxi divided by dt. Okay, now what is this dxi is, because here v is equal to what dx divided by dt. இதுலயும் என்ன இருக்கு dx divided by dt தான் இருக்கு, ஆனா என்ன டேர்ம் இருக்கு I ன்னு இருக்கு, ஸோ அதனால vi ன்னு எழுதுறோம். ஸோ v of cm is equal to summation mi vi divided by summation mi. Okay, so same formula. Okay, when you are writing for xi, x of cm we will writing as xi, and for v of cm it is vi. Same way when you are finding for acceleration, it is given by d by dt of d of x of cm divided by dt. This is one formula, or the other formula for acceleration is differentiation of velocity divided by time taken. Okay, so we are writing as dv of cm divided by dt. Okay, now what is this formula is summation mi into dvi divided by dt divided by summation mi. Same way, this again can be written as a of I. So we get a of cm is equal to summation mi ai divided by summation mi. Clear? So these are the formulas of acceleration and velocity.